This week we spent quite a bit of time getting some raspberries in the ground. This is a crop that we grew quite a bit of in the past, but we've doubled, well, maybe tripled our crop this year because it's such a good foliage for cut flowers that we wanted to share it with you and show you a little bit of what we are doing here on the farm. So the first time that we planted raspberries, we had the opportunity to buy them as rootstock. So instead of buying canes, we bought basically just roots that were dug up and left over after they dug the canes out. So we were able to buy it by the pound, which was really nice. We were able to get quite a bit of material, and so we planted those, and we have been cutting on them for 2 years now. You can see that they're starting to leaf out, and since we're using them for cuts, we don't really need to plant them in any sort of a trellised way because we're just wanting the foliage. So we actually cram them into the beds pretty tight, and then we cut on them all year. We mow them down at the end of the year, mulch them, and get ready for the next season. So I should probably mention that the weather is rolling in right now. We had some snow last night, which is not actually very common for us this time of year. And so I apologize if the sound is kind of off, but I'm trying to speak loud and enunciate so you can hear me over the wind. Behind me is a new section that we just put in. We bought canes this year for raspberries. We got 4 different varieties, Tulamines, Cascade Delights, Boynes, and one other one that I'm not remembering right now, but I will remember. And so we are trying a bunch of different varieties this way. We want to see if there's any difference between the floricanes and the primicanes for our uses as far as foliage goes. There's just not a lot of information on it. We can get great pictures of the actual berries, but finding out what the foliage looks like is a little bit challenging. So where we were able to buy those rootstock before that company went out of business, well, actually just stopped doing that part of their business, and so this is from a new company, and we were fortunate enough, as they're a local company, to be able to go out last fall and kind of check out the different plants and see what we thought might work best for us for cuts. So these are the varieties that we picked. We'll see how we did. Anyway, we're gonna get rained out, but I wanted to kind of show you what we have. There are also some thornless blackberries back there. These raspberries do have thorns, and that is a concern. However, keep in mind that when we're cutting these for cuts, we're cutting them as they're coming out, so they're still pretty pliable. The thorns haven't really solidified. They're not quite as bad as you might think, and we sell a lot of them. We use a lot of them. They're great foliage. So we dodged a little bit of a bullet. We had to run into the greenhouses for a second while the hail came down because it's Oregon and it's second winter right now, which some people think is spring, but they're wrong. Anyway, so I remembered that the 4th variety that we planted this year is Caroline. So the ones that we picked because they either were developed here in the Northwest or they are proven to do well here in the Northwest. So I would strongly suggest that if you are planning on putting in raspberries or even thinking about it, to talk to some local growers or local nurseries and see what does do well in your area. Raspberries are pretty hardy and they're pretty easy to grow, but they do like to be well drained, and they do want to make sure that they're appropriate for your zone and your growing region. Anyway, so we have everything planted now, and the next step is that we are going to wait for a couple of weeks, let them get maybe a month or so, let them get rooted in, then we'll come back in and we'll compost over the top of them. We will use a wood chip layer to just kind of help with weed control mostly. We'll run drip tape on them, and then we'll kind of leave them and let them do their thing until it's time to start harvesting. So I will try to check back in over the summer and let you know exactly what that looks like. But again, raspberries are a really great foliage, so check them out, and thanks for swinging by the farm, and we'll see you next time.